Hey BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you are new to me and this is the first time you're seeing my face, hello, welcome to my home. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So I hope that's why you're here, because that's what's going to be happening today. If you are not new to me, thank you for always tuning in and the continued support. I really do appreciate it. So today for you, as you can see from the title of the video, this is my July TBR. These are all the books that I'm hoping to read, complete, absorb this month, and there's quite a stack here. When I have stacks this big, I usually never complete the TBR, but you know what? It is what it is. As long as I enjoy what I'm reading, that's all that really matters, right? As long as I'm having fun and enjoying what I'm reading, that's what, in the end, that's all that matters. But since we do have quite a few to talk about today, please go to grab yourself a drink, have yourself a seat, and let's get talking some books. Okay, so last month I included the audiobooks that I plan on reading. I will be doing that again, and they will be at the end of this video. So the first half is going to be all my physical books, and then I'm going to do all my audios at the end of the video. So just a heads up. So these are in no particular order. I'm just grabbing from the top and working my way down. So my first book I have on top is A Touch of Malice by Scarlett St. Clair. I just recently finished Game of Retribution by Scarlett St. Clair, which is the second installment to the Hades series. This is the third installment to the Touch of Darkness series, which is Persephone's perspective of that series. And I'm super, super pumped for it. I have heard from people who have read this that this ends really, really rough. I'm just saying, it ends rough. And the fourth installment, Touch of Chaos, comes out in September of 23. I think, don't hold me to that. I know it's in 23, but I want to say it's in September. So once I read this, I will have to wait almost a whole year, over a year. And I'm kind of now thinking this wasn't the best pick for this, but I want to really read it. I want to read it. And also this is meeting my husband's challenge of reading a book in a series that he helped me finish. He actually purchased all of these books for me. So there you go. Touch of Malice by Scarlett St. Clair. Here we go, guys. The next book I have here is actually a little novella that I purchased a little while ago, and I saw it and I was like, I want to read that. So I picked it up. This is The Vampire's Throne, which is the first installment in the Royal Blood series, and it's by A.J. Tipton. It's a paranormal romance. I know nothing about this except that it's vampires, and it is that short. I don't even think this breaks 100 pages. I'm almost positive. Yeah, 95 pages. So this is going to be super, super short, and there are 3 more in the Royal Blood series. So if I like this, I'll pick up the other 3 and then I'll just marathon them. So yes, vampires, bring them on. Oh, this baby right here. Yep, here it is. So as many of you already know, I am partaking in the SJM Readalong hosted by Jen over at the Book Refuge. I will link her down below, and the SJM Readalong announcement video, where what we were doing is we were reading all of Sarah J. Maas's published works in publication order. And this month's required reading is A Court of Mist and Fury. And I am very happy to say that I get to be on the live show panel for this on July 31st. So please go check that out when it's time. And I am super fucking pumped about this. Okay. So I loved A Court of Thorn and Roses. It was 5 stars for me. Beauty and the Beast retelling, amazing. Loved it. And now I have this, which I've been told this is it's a very loose interpretation of a Hades and Persephone retelling, which I love Hades and Persephone retellings as well. And every time I tell people that I'm ready to read this book, there's like, oh, just you wait. I can't wait to hear your reactions after hearing your reactions about Court of Thorn and Roses. I had multiple people tell me this, and I'm just like, y'all are scaring me now. You're scared of me. I'm a little scared, but I'm scared of roller coasters too. My ass still gets on them. Why? Because they're fucking fun. And yeah, so I am super, super pumped about this. I cannot wait to pick it up. I'm just dying to find out. We were introduced to the character of Rhysand, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, in A Court of Thorn and Roses, and I believe he is one of the major players in this book. And I am super pumped to find out that story because I like him a lot. I liked him a lot in Court of Thorn and Roses, even though he did some seriously shady shit. Yeah, so I'm excited. I am nervous. Like, you could kind of see me shaking. Like, I am nervous about this. Like, I'm intimidated by it, but I'm intimidated in such a good way because everyone has built this up. So I'm like, I hope to God this doesn't suck. But I don't think it will, because Sarah J. Maas has not sucked for me at all in anything I've read of hers. I'm having a blast doing this readathon. I am just, everything new from Sarah, I'm just devouring and I'm eating it all up. I'm just like kicking myself every time, like, why the fuck did I wait so long to read these books? These are awesome. So I'm really, really excited about reading this. Again, that live show, I believe, is July 31st, and I get to be on the panel for it. So please check that out when it is time. And also go check out the SJM Readalong announcements so you can find out what we'll be reading the upcoming months. And if you want to join in, hop on in. Okay. Yay! All right. Sorry. We're going to move on now. The next book I have is my Buzzword challenge, which I epically failed. I've been failing this challenge for a while, and this is the Buzzword challenge hosted by Books and Lala, and I'll link her video down below. Essentially what she did is she came up with a word for each month, and you design your whole TBR around it, or just one book. I chose the latter of just one book. And the last couple months, I've been kind of failing at it. I DNF'd one of them, and the last two I just didn't get to. So I'm hoping that I can get back on track for this month. And this month's Buzzword was book-ish words. So library, page, series, things like that had to appear in the title. And I made in the past an options video, so I knew what books I had to choose from, because I wanted this challenge to help read down my physical TBR, and I had 3 options, and it was a toss-up. And when I mean a toss-up, I literally flipped a fucking coin to tell me which book I was gonna read, because I couldn't decide which one I wanted to go with. So I hope Fates chose me right, because I end up getting Matt Haig's The Midnight Library. This was super popular on BookTube for a long time. I don't really know much about it, except that there's like this mystical library that allows you to live your life as if you made different choices to see where you would have ended up. And I kind of think that concept's really interesting. Go back and changing some of the choices you made, not living with regret, and seeing what kind of new regrets you get, what kind of new experiences you're experienced to. I think that's kind of interesting. So I'm hoping that I will like this. We shall see. So wish me luck on that one, guys. The next book I chose this book because of what's going on in the world today. I originally bought this book a long time ago because I just thought it sounded like an interesting concept, but with everything that's going on in politics today, with discussions about court cases and things being overturned, I thought this was a perfect chance to read this book. And that is The Women's War by Jenna Glass. This is the first installment in the Women's War series. And I'm just going to read you the back of it because I think it explains a better job than what I'm going to. And you'll see why I picked this book for this month. A revolutionary spell has given women the ability to control their own fertility. The world has always expected them to know their place and to supply male heirs to powerful men. But now, at last, the women have power, and they will rock their patriarchal society to its core. Alice is a single mother of 2 who is only just discovering her fierce talent for politics and for magic, once deemed solely the domain of men. Meanwhile, in a neighboring kingdom, Ellen finds herself unexpectedly on the throne after the death of her grandfather, the king. The men who currently hold power will do anything to retain it, but what force in the world can stand against the courage of women who have tasted freedom for the very first time? I thought this was really fitting to read with what's going on in today's society, so this is for that reason. It's not meeting any challenge. I just really wanted to read this book, and I thought this was the perfect time for it. The next book that I have is Abby Glines, Until Friday Night. This is the first installment in the Field Party series. I believe that's what it's called. Yes, the Field Party series. I've been wanting to pick these up for a while, and since we are literally in the heart of summer, I thought this was a perfect time to pick it up. And this follows Maggie and West. Other than that, I really don't know much else about it, except that I don't know if it's going to be super, super steamy, but I think it's still, I don't think it's going to be like a 4 or a 5 on Chili Pepper scale, but it might be like a solid 3 with some really good romance. I have read Abby Glines in the past, and I really like the way she wrote. I like the way she did what she did with her characters and their character arcs. So I'm interested to see what she does with this series. The next book that I have here is actually for the Smut Club, which is hosted by That Tall Book Girl and Oh Hey It's McKay. I'll link both their channels down below. They started this last month and I bought the book for it, but I just didn't read it in time, so I wasn't able to take part in that live show. But this month I am prepared, and this month's selection is In Flight, Up in the Air, Book 1 by R.K. Lilly. And I don't really know much about this, except that I bought it literally for this Smut Club, and I'm gonna go in blind. I'm just gonna see what happens. I have a feeling this is gonna be pretty intense because all these books were picked for what is perceived to be their smut level. So hoping we're getting a lot of Chili Peppers on this one. So yeah. The next book I have here has a repeat. You've seen this on my TBR a couple times already, and I've never gotten to it. But my TBR jar challenge for this month was to read a book that was set in a location that I wanted to travel to. And although I have a lot of books in locations that I would love to go to, because I love this series so much, I have always wanted, since I read this series, I've always wanted to go to this country, and that is Scotland. So I am picking up Dragonfly and Amber by Diana Gabaldon, the second installment of the Outlander series, and I'm hoping I can get back on my track and read all these by the end of the year. And yes, so I'm gonna give this another shot and read it again. This will be a reread from me. The first time I read this book, it was 5 stars. I just adore this series. Jamie Fraser he's just fucking perfect, okay? He's Jamie fucking Fraser, okay? I don't really know what else you could say about the man. Or the actor that plays him, Sam Heughan on Outlander, is just, he's so pretty. He's so pretty. But yes, Dragonfly and Amber's back on there, and I am looking forward to coming back home. So yes. And the last book that I have, physical book, is Love, Theodosia by Lori Ann Goldstein. I have already started this book, and this is a love story between Theodosia Burr and Philip Hamilton, the children of Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton. So this is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and I have actually already started this. I'm like 10 pages in, but I picked this book because of Independence Day. It's kind of on theme. I kind of like to do this every once in a while. It's kind of fun. So I don't know anything about this author. I've never read anything by her. I just saw this and I was like, I don't really have a lot of American Revolutionary romances, and the few that I have, I've already read. So I decided to go with this one, and this is my first official read of July, and I'm really looking forward to it. So yes. All right, so those are all my physical books for this month. And now for my audiobooks, I do have a carryover audiobook from last month, and that is Hall and the Soulless. Looks like this guy, and this by Denali Day. I'm about 50% of the way through it. I'm really enjoying it, and I will be continuing it in the month of July until it is finished, and you will hear more about it, hopefully in my weekly wrap-ups when I finish it. But I am currently in the process of reading this book right now. The next book that I plan on tackling an audiobook of is this guy. This is The Revenant, a novel revenge by Michael Punk. This is the true story of Hugh Glass, who was attacked by a bear and left for dead, and trucked his way across the wilderness to basically get revenge on the people who left him. It got turned into a major motion picture where Leonardo DiCaprio won the Academy Award for Best Actor in. So I've had this book appears on my self-destruct list, and I've had the audiobook on my library for a while. So I thought I'd try it for the audiobook first, because I have no doubt that it's going to be good. I just don't know if I'm going to necessarily be in the mood for it. So if I can listen to it while I'm doing other things, I might be more apt to want to get to it. So this is another audiobook that I'll be trying for this month. The next one I have is The Professor by Serena Ackroyd, and I think I'm saying her name right. If I am not, I apologize. This is narrated by Wen Ross and Kay Kennicott, and that is literally the reason I picked it up, because I saw that they were narrating it, and I was like, you narrated the Brotspas, the Wicked Dom series, and I fucking love your voices. Yes, sign me up. We're totally doing this. But this is a bully romance, and I want to say it's a professor and a student, but some of the synopsis that I've read is more like it's a stalker element. So I don't know. We're going to find out, but I do know it's categorized as a bully romance. So, yay. But When Ross, come on, it's When Ross. Yay. The next book I want to try to get to audio-wise is Faking It by Kay Bromberg, and it looks like this. This is a fake dating, forced capacity romance. And other than that, I really don't know much else about it, but I do know that the male is Australian, so I'm hoping the audiobook has an Australian accent, which is fucking bomb. Sign me up for that. That's great. I love an accent. I love a good one. Bring it on. So this was a freebie on Audible, and it was in my library, so I thought I'd give it a try. And the cover's really pretty. And the last audiobook I plan on completing this month is Tall, Dark, and Lonely by R.L. Mathewson. This is the first installment in the Pite and Sentinel series. I think I'm saying that right. And it is a paranormal. Other than that, I don't really know anything else about it. So I'm going into a lot of these audios blind, which is always kind of fun. Believe it or not, I so far have been pretty lucky with my blind reactions of audiobooks, so we will see what happens. But those are the audiobooks I plan on trying to get to this month, and I do have to draw from my classics jar, so we're going to do that now. But I'm going to get a drink first because I'm going to prepare myself for this. All right. So, all right, here's my wine glass of all my classics. I have no idea. I'm kind of regretting sometimes doing this challenge because it just seems like it's not really working to my advantage. But then again, I've gotten some good ones. Tenant of Wildfell Hall was awesome. So, all right, let's see what I'm gonna try to get to. We'll go with this one. All right. I'm nervous. Ooh! Ha! I love this one. Okay, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I'll take that. That's great. Ah, yes. Not the right season for it, but don't give a fuck. That's awesome. Look at that. All right. Well, that's what I got for you guys today. That's what I'm going to be trying to read in July. I hope to pick up other stuff in between. I do have some prize elements sometimes, but we'll see how it goes. And if you want to know anything about these books, let me know, and I'll make sure to shout you out in my weekly wrap-ups when I get to them. So that's all I got for you guys today, and I will see you guys all soon with another video.